Hey everybody, it's Janice with Creating Through Chaos, and today we're going to start this project off with this tabletop decor fireworks display thing that I got at Family Dollar, and I got it on clearance because they had a whole cart of them, so I figured these would make the cutest pumpkins. And I think they would also make snowmen, so I wish I had gotten another set, but they were $2.50. So anyway, I took the little metal things out of the top and then sanded down just to give myself a nice base to paint on, kind of get rid of some of the shiny stuff. You don't have to sand it all the way. Then I'm going to give this a couple of coats of this white paint. It's like a buttermilk color. And I just did the two left ones. I left the right one blank, and I'm going to paint this one orange. And this is just the first coat. After these were both dry, I went back through and added a second and I think a third coat to the orange because the design was showing through. So once they were all painted with their coats and they were dry, I'm going to take this napkin that I had in my shop and I am going to Mod Podge it just to the center one. So as you can see, I'm just adding the Mod Podge to this one, not the other ones. Make sure that I get every bit of it. So I really want my napkin to stick well. And I brought the napkin down to one ply. And then I'm going to lay my napkin down at the bottom and then just slowly lay it across the rest of it. Kind of making sure that I don't get any wrinkles. And then rubbing it gently with my fingers to make sure that it's all attached. And then I'm just going to let that dry as is. Once it was dry, I'm going to take my little sanding block and go around and sand off all of the edges. And I'm being careful as to not rip my napkin and just get the edges. So as you can see, I'm going very slow and then peeling it off. And there's the center. This is already so cute. Now I'm going to take my antique wax and I'm just going to wax all of the pumpkins. So I'm just going to do mostly the edges on the middle one. And then the other ones I'm going to go into the centers on those. I didn't really want to wax too much over the napkin because I really liked the design and I didn't want to cover it too much. So I'm going to wax both the orange and the white pumpkin on either side. And for the areas that you can't get in, you can go over with a paintbrush after, like on the edges where the applicator won't get. You can just go in with a little paintbrush and get those. So as you can see, I'm doing both of the sides, just making sure that this is, antiqued very well. And there it is once I got it all finished. Next, I'm going to take a really dark burgundy paint, and I kind of matched it up to the leaves on the center pumpkin from the napkin. I'm going to paint the whole base that color, and that took a couple of coats. But I really liked the contrast of it with the napkin colors. I tried to take the white, the orange, and the dark maroon from the napkin and kind of incorporate it into it. Next, I'm going to take these little stems from Dollar Tree. I'm going to glue one to each pumpkin on the top. And I didn't care if they matched or that they were the same because I wanted it to be rustic. Once I had those attached, I am going to take some Spanish moss and put those around each one of the stems. So I'm just going to use some hot glue and press it down and try not to burn my fingers. And then trim off all those little wiry hairs. So I'm just kind of peeling it apart and then just bunching it up and then wrapping it around each one. It's okay if some of it's wiry. You can just trim off the excess that you don't like, but I kind of wanted some of it to be a little bit wiry. And again, doing the third pumpkin. Just hot gluing and smushing down the moss. And then once you have it on there, you can play with it how you want. Look at it from the front. I'm kind of looking at it from a funky angle here. So as you can see, I noticed that there's some pieces missing on this side, so I added a little bit more. And you just kind of play with it and, figure out how you want it. And how cute, right? I absolutely love this. Who knew fireworks could look so cute? So next I'm just going to take some picks that I had from Hobby Lobby and just kind of cut them down and place them where I want. So I'm going to take this little leaf and I'm going to add one of these to each one of my pumpkins. And then these little greenery bits that I got at Hobby Lobby also. I just kind of bought a bunch of picks so that I could cut them apart. And then I also had these like little white, little berry looking things, and I added that to each one of the tops of the pumpkins. So as you can see, I added them all. Then I took some twine and made this bow and then this little tag that has been coffee dyed, and it says give thanks. And I'm just going to hot glue that right to the top of the center pumpkin. And I'm going to let all of those little ends from my bow hang down. And then I'm just, trim them to fit to size. And these were really curly, and I absolutely loved it because my twine was wrapped so tight and I was getting towards the end. So I had all these like curly bits, and I thought it was perfect. So I just left it just like that. And I think this turned out so super cute. I'm going to go back and see if they have another one to see if I can make some snowmen out of them. But this is absolutely adorable. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope it inspired you to make one. Thank you for watching. And as always, don't